Hi. This is Hollywood Recap. In this video we're going to talk about the French movie Amélie Poulain. Attention to spoilers. Amélie Poulain is the only child of Raphael and Amandine, a doctor and a schoolteacher, respectively. Raphael is a stoic and distant father, and never makes physical contact with his daughter except for a monthly medical checkup. When Amélie is 6, he concludes that she has a serious heart defect. He declares Amélie to be too delicate for school, and she is taught at home by her mother. Amandine is constantly stressed and anxious, and breaks down over strange and minor events such as Amélie's goldfish leaping from its bowl. Given no mental stimulation from her parents and isolated from other children, Amélie develops an intricate imagination to entertain herself. She becomes fairly comfortable in her solitude, but her life is shaken when her mother is inadvertently fatally crushed by a suicidal tourist leaping from the roof of Notre Dame. Her father becomes deeply depressed, and Amélie receives even less parental affection. In her late teens, she moves to her own apartment and takes a job as a café waitress in Montmartre. Amélie amuses herself with life's simple, everyday pleasures, since her romantic relationships were often disappointing. She takes interest in the lives of others, but does not get involved. Residents of her apartment building include Raymond Dufayel, an elderly reclusive artist with very brittle bones. On August 31, 1997, as she watches a news report of Princess Diana's death, chance leads Amélie to discover a small box behind a wall in her bathroom. It contains pictures, toys, and mementos from decades before. Amélie decides to find the box's owner to return it, and if he is touched by the gesture, she will dedicate her life to such acts of kindness. After consulting Collingian's parents, who had lived in her apartment building around the time the box was hidden, roughly 1950, Amélie receives a possible name for the owner, Dominique Bredaudeau. Amélie looks up several Bredaudeaus in the city, but to no avail. Her neighbor Dufayel provides her with the correct spelling Bredaudeau and Amélie is able to track him down. She slyly returns the box to him, and the aging Bredaudeau is brought to tears by his childhood memories. After anonymously trailing him to a bar, Amélie learns that her act had inspired him to visit his estranged daughter and finally meet his grandson. Amélie is delighted. Amélie decides to encourage her aging and morose father to travel for the first time. She steals his beloved garden gnome and gives it to her stewardess friend, who takes pictures of it in famous foreign locations at her flight stops. Amélie anonymously sends the pictures to her father, hoping to inspire wanderlust. One day at the train station, Amélie encounters Nino Quincampoix, an eccentric young man whose hobby is reconstructing torn-up pictures found underneath photo booths. Nino drops one of his photo albums when chasing a mysterious man through the station, and Amélie looks through it. The man Nino was chasing appears in multiple reconstructed photos throughout the album, and Nino is intent on discovering his identity. Amélie decides to return the album, but is interested in meeting Nino. After visiting the pornography shop where he works as a clerk, she learns he has another job at a carnival. She sets up a series of clues for him that would eventually bring them together. Her cat and mouse games with Nino have captured his attention, and he wants to meet her as well. In the meantime, Amélie steals Madame Wells's letters from her husband, written to her decades before, and cleverly creates a new letter in which he apologizes to his wife for his infidelity. After receiving the false letter, Madame Wells is overjoyed with the news that her husband loved her after all. Amélie also avenges Lucienne by playing practical jokes on Collingian, whom she dislikes for constantly insulting Lucienne. Amélie has regular visits with Raymond Dufayel, who has been recreating the same Renoir painting for 20 years. He reminds her that, despite her intentions to help others, she is neglecting her own pursuit for happiness. Amélie resolves to meet Nino once and for all, and lures him to her café with a note. He arrives but she is too shy to address him, even when he gently confronts her with the note. While Amélie is out of earshot, her fellow waitress Gina asks Nino to talk with her in private, to ensure that Amélie will not be hurt by him. After speaking with Nino, Gina sees that he is a good man. However, Gina's ex-boyfriend Joseph sees the two leave together and, after being dumped by Georgette, reveals his incorrect observation that Nino and Gina are dating. Amélie hears this, and is crushed. At home, Amélie weeps while frustratingly baking a cake. She daydreams of a life with Nino, amid all the current characters in her life. She is startled when her doorbell rings. She hears Nino speaking to her from the hallway, but she is too nervous to answer. Assuming she is not home, Nino slips a note under her door, assuring her that he will return. A conflicted Amélie finds a personal videotape from Mr. Dufayel, in which he encourages her to pursue the man she loves, or risk eternal unhappiness. Amélie rushes to the door just as Nino returns. She brings him in without speaking, and after finally seeing each other under new circumstances, they begin a relationship. Some time later, Amelie and Nino are still happy together. A narrator encourages the audience to observe the miraculous details of life that occur every moment. Thank you for watching this video.